All right. Hello, everyone. And I want to go ahead and welcome you to the first podcast. So, if you haven't heard, this is going to be a launch of a podcast series called Class, where we talk about creativity, logic, art, science, spirituality, and how everything comes together. And today we have B Media, and here we have Bianca. So, Bianca, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and explain a little bit about who you are and what got you inspired.
Yeah, my name is Bianca Elizabeth. I'm born and raised in San Francisco, and I've always been a creative. I went to school for photo and video, kind of fell into the production world, doing weddings and worked at Disney in the production area. And then through that, I went back to school for marketing and really fell in love with it, really fell in love with the social aspect of it, the connectivity, the organic reach instead of just having to buy everything. But then I kind of realized, you can have a business with it, with really putting it all together and helping people with ads and now AI. So yeah, so it's kind of just evolved from photography. So
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah.
And are there any specific people that you look up to within the industry or within business in general?
I think so. Inspiration wise, Gary V, is that typical? I mean, that's kind of my vibe is that tough love, but then really compassionate, right? So I think that's how I thrive in life. So I've really kind of built a lot of my stuff from his views and things like that. And then of course the good old Tony Robbins. I've always wanted to go to a date with destiny, and I've always just been really always engaged in all that he's doing and understanding the spirituality of everything too, right? Of we're humans that are creating this. We aren't robots. So I think we fall into the robotic mode. So I think they really inspire me to kind of be really in business on the Gary Vee side, but then Tony Robbins really brings in the emotional, compassionate side as well.
I mean, yeah, no, you hit the nail right on the head. I've been blessed, and I actually got to go to Unleash the Power Within in New Jersey. So I'm a
Awesome.
student of Tony Robbins. I got to walk across fire, and that was a life-changing experience, needless to say. But it was one of those things where it was by, I want to say, the end of the first day, it was everything just connected and it made sense, which was a pretty phenomenal experience. But yeah, as far as emotions and things like that, of course, in marketing, emotions is something that plays into it, right? I mean, a lot of people would say that people buy things based on emotion and justify with logic later,
Yep.
So those are one of the things that we as marketers look into. As far as your thoughts on marketing and business now with AI coming into play, how do you see that and what are your thoughts on it?
So I wasn't I think my ego didn't like it at first. I think it was more of an ego thing of oh no, is it going to take over our jobs? Oh no, not that I really thought that, but just in that kind of fight or flight moment, I was refusing to utilize it. And then I finally utilized it. I used ChatGPT and Jasper and kind of utilized both. And I love it. Now I know how to use it. When you don't use it correctly, it spits out garbage in the sense of it's just really generic and it just doesn't work. But it's still in that building stage, right? It's kind of like anything. It's like when the iPhone came out or when the iPhone comes out, there's bugs. And then I like buying the iPhone a year after, because then it's 100% sure that they at least worked on that, right? So it's just that's kind of how it works with AI, right? There's going to be bugs, there's going to be weird things, but I think we're in the beginning stages, which is so cool as marketers, is that we'll be able to now have courses and teach people on how to utilize marketing with AI versus just and they can actually do it for themselves. It's going to be definitely help people more on the DIY side with things. And then I think it'll help bigger corporations with just internal, even just with internal affairs. I think AI is going to just create a lot of organization for a lot of things that just take a lot of time. So I think in the end, it really is a time saver, and it creates those aha moments, at least for me, to where I'm like, oh, I forgot that I knew that,
Mm,
right? It just kind of brings up that, and then it helps you structure something that you had like jumbled up in your brain. So it's kind of like an assistant in a sense, right?
mhm.
So I that's how I've been utilizing it is really just helping me coming up with those marketing campaigns, helping me with my ebook, helping me, just really tighten up everything, you
Right.
know. So
Yeah, no, definitely. I've been playing around with it, and I've been playing around with Google's version of AI, which is called Bard. And
hard. I heard that from you. Yeah.
so that's been like, it was interesting because everybody was like, oh, ChatGPT, you could connect to the internet now, but it's $20. And then Google said, F you, ours is free, works just like it. And I was just like, let me check it out. And I could tell you something now. It is
Okay.
highly impressive because now
Okay.
it links into Google's workspace. So if you're a business owner, you have
Yeah.
now AI linked into your Google Sheets, your docs, your slides, your presentations, and you
Oh
can
wow.
to create your presentation for you within Google Presentation Workshop. So
Okay.
that's pretty awesome. And then of course it comes up with copy for you within
Oh
Google
wow.
Docs. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
and then, of course, it also integrates with Google Drive. So I was like, this is interesting. But then I looked at other platforms. So some people are
Yeah.
familiar with platforms like Wix and Squarespace, right? And
Okay.
Wix signed a contract with ChatGPT, and they have now incorporated it into web design within Wix.
So I use that. I've been using that majorly. They have this thing called what is it called? It's a new program that they're running out, and it actually allows you to have clients. It's not to where I need it to be yet. It's
Mhm.
definitely on the newer stages. It's like
Mhm.
this their space
Yeah.
to where you can like be an agency and utilize it instead of transferring and having all of that. But for me, it's not where it needs to be for where I'm doing it. But I think Wix is definitely. I've never slept on Wix.
Yeah.
I've been on with Wix since day one because I went from WordPress to
Yep.
Wix, and so for me, I've always told people don't sleep on Wix because now I mean, they have that they sign with Chat GBT, but they also integrate with Google. So all
Yep.
of your marketing campaigns, all of your email stuff is through Google.
Yep.
So it is really nice. And then you can do Google ads through Wix, like without even going on your ad account on Google. Like, but it
Mhm.
is Google. So I've always loved them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I just think it's interesting how things are going because Canva also signed and integrated ChatGPT into their stuff.
Okay.
So it was one of those things where I see people in the e-commerce space or graphic designers, they were knocking on Canva at one point,
Mhm.
and now Canva with AI has the ability, on top of everything else, to get into the e-com space. And they do a
Yeah.
bunch of other things when it comes to creative. And then Adobe stepped in with Spark. So that was pretty cool. But I'm nerding out here.
Yeah.
So, as far as what are some tips when it comes to social media that you can share when it comes to social media, AI, and exactly how can the either small business owner, medium, or large business owner apply it?
I really utilize it for content organization or not content creation, but content calendar creation.
Mhm.
So like I really utilize AI to really help me and my clients like come up with the right schedule for them. And it's really nice because a lot of the programs, AI is getting so smart. So it really just behavior wise, it really understands things. So I've been really enjoying it for that aspect. And then also to copy. It really does. I can't tell you how many things I get done so quickly by
Mhm.
just being like, oh, yep, da, 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 da. Use they give you some hashtags, they take some away, use some, and bam, boom. I use Notion as well, and
Okay.
Notion, I believe, uses Chat GBT as well. So I've been utilizing that and having like brainstorming sessions with my clients without even being there. Right? I think AI is also allowing that you to work from home. It's allowing people to actually like start their business and do those things. So I really think in the social media space, it's really allowing you to work faster, which allows you to put more content out, which allows you to really be more creative and actually
Mhm.
grow. Right. So I think maybe all in all, AI is really helping social media grow. And so I would just say, and then emails for me, emails are where it's at with AI. I used to hate cold emails, hate them because I hated building them out.
Right.
And for me, at least I don't make it do it for me, but I just like want the outline and then I fill in the space. So for me, that's really helped as well with leads. It's actually ridiculously helped because I suck at cold emails. And then also too, just understanding hashtags. It's starting to get a little smarter with knowing behaviors with that. So I've been playing around with asking what hashtags are working and seeing if those work for my clients as well. So,
Got it. And would you say that it's beneficial to actually know how to communicate when using AI? Because obviously, if you don't put in the right prompt, you're not going to get the right answers.
No, yeah. And I think with people that are getting a little on the DIY side, it's getting a little, it's a little worrisome because a lot of people don't really know what certain terms and terminology in the marketing world, and they just want to do it and they use, AI for that. And the thing is if you just ask a generic, or if you put a generic prompt, you might get the wrong answer or being misled. Right. So right. I think that's huge. I think really understanding how to talk to AI. So I think people like you and me are really helpful for for the folks that are just now getting comfortable even saying I will try it. Because I think we've kind of been in with it, or you have in the beginning, and we've kind of used it before we use it on our clients. And I think that's the key, is really understanding your voice and if you're a marketer, your client's voice. And if you're going to use AI for your clients, make sure that it's really representing their mission, really representing like what they're and creating voices within AI is really important. I think that could be a whole talk in itself, is how to really translate from what you're trying to say to AI to kind of develop something for it. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've seen on the news articles recently, they have created a job as called prompt engineers, and it's literally your job to create the proper prompts to communicate with AI. And these people are getting paid over $200,000 a year, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
So yeah,
yeah, it's changing. I mean, everything's changing. I mean, think about, how it trickled with me is just the content, right? And now I think it's finally getting to where, video is really taking over. And so I think just really utilizing, I've even utilized AI to help me come up with a script or help me come up with a real idea. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I can roll with this. So I think we're just getting to a place where people are like, oh, AI is going to take over. No, we can utilize AI to really, catapult and just save time, and which means more money because we have more time. So,
well, definitely saving money on that aspect, because of the stuff you would hire out for just simple advice, you can ask AI now and it can pretty much answer it for you, which is very beneficial. As moving forward, what are some things people should pay attention? What are some things people should pay attention to in order to grow their social media accounts? So, is it the headline, the copy? Like, what types of creative do you see work best?
So I think it used to be a lot more robotic, right? I think Instagram used to be a popularity contest. It used to be really like, who has the best this? What's going to shock people? What's going to clickbait the most? And I think after COVID, I think everybody got a little in their feels. And I think it became more like, oh, I see right through you. Like, I've been on my own. I've done some work. I see right through this mess. So I think that it's changing, so I feel rapidly, in the sense of the authentic. It's real. People don't want to see, like, I notice my videos that convert more are the ones I mess up on more than the ones that I actually like, that I structure out. And so I think authenticity is where it's at. Take your mask off. Don't, stick to your brand, and if you have to change your brand up because maybe you weren't being authentic to it, then that's what it is, right? I think right now I'm teaching people to show up as their most authentic self with their brand.
Mm-hmm.
I had like somebody that, like, there are so many things you can do on social media that will better your traction. Even just deleting your old page and starting a new page. I mean, that alone is what I teach people, because you can get stuck in a whatever shadow ban or whatever you want to call it, or just being blocked and just never be seen. So I think knowing, understanding that is the first key, is knowing, like, are you being seen correctly? Then after that, it's, I believe, getting the hook and sinker, right? Is the hook. And it's understanding your niche, understanding your audience. I think that's the biggest thing that people come into problem with, is not understanding their audience. So you have to know who you're talking to. Right. And I think that we have to kind of hit and miss, unless we have all this, unless you have money to put towards an agency or people or freelancers that can really help mold things. A lot of people go at it on their own. So I think, in that sake, it's just really understanding who the heck you're talking to. Because if you can understand that first, then everything you create is now streamlined and focused and funneled. Right. And then it can always evolve from there. But I think hook is really big. I think if you understand your audience, if your audience is a reader, then make sure your captions are nice and juicy. If your audience are more visual, you have to look at your analytics. It takes about 30 days to really understand Instagram's analytics. So, Instagram can be a slow burner organically, but over time, it's going to give you more of a base to actually have a community that's going to refer you, that's going to blast you out, that's going to share. So I think just understanding what your brand is, knowing what hooks work, knowing, no more hashtag. I mean, I'm sorry, you can hashtag, but there's so many banned hashtags now. You have no idea. Like, I didn't even realize, like, love and just silly little, even like random things like Friday, like certain days of the week are banned. So I mean, it's just, I've learned that really understanding what hashtags work instead of using a ton. It's, the algorithm really likes 4 to 5 right now, is what I'm noticing. So I would say don't go over 5. I stick between 2 and 5. So I think that those really help, and not doing them every day, like the same ones every day, that will make the algorithm think you're a robot. So just, every other day, switch up the hashtags. That's been, really helpful. And then video, if people really want to get out there, if people are really stuck on doing their static posts, like, make it a video to where at least like every other, just because static posts just don't convert anymore. And they used to be great, but they just don't. So I think just really understanding the reels, really understanding the algorithm with that, understanding who your audience is, and really sticking to it.
Awesome. And then I had a question for you, as far as, like, because I know you mentioned Instagram. What do you think about the trend of people that would create stuff for TikTok and then just like put the same content everywhere? How does that work?
So I think that shows so I do that when I get really busy, right? So I think it's going to naturally happen accidentally, whatever. I don't think it's intentional. I also don't think people understand strategy, right? I think what it is TikTok is going to be for your visually, like, stimulated human beings that are going to be there for a good time, there to be entertained. And then maybe if you catch them at a time where they're ready to be, impulsive and buy something or be there, that's a great platform. Instagram's going to be your millennial place, where millennials live, where we get our advice, where we, TikTok is the viral stuff, right? Those are the things like, oh my God, I saw this on TikTok. Instagram's going to be more of the daily, the daily, I guess you would say, push for your business, right? Instagram's going to be like the entertaining, or TikTok's going to be more on the entertaining side, and the trying to get content that people are going to click or share, share and share and share and share, right? Instagram is more of a, a brand identity,
Mhm.
right? And creating that in your space, on your page, or on your, and in general, it's just there, everything's completely different. So I think having this strategy and working with somebody and people that really do understand it is key, because you're going to waste so much money on thinking that you can do ads without understanding them, and thinking that just post without any, real reason, you know. And I think everybody falls off on the creative game. So I think that that's kind of what AI helps with, right? It helps you stay out of the burnout stage, helps you with keeping up with the content. So
Mhm.
think
Awesome.
everything literally goes together in now with marketing, right? Back in the day, no, it was all Google ads,
Mhm.
like, and then, yeah, and then iOS 14 came out, and then everything moved to Google. So, I mean, like, it's just, it's one of those things that now we're in this trend of the metaverse, right? It's this new aspect of, okay, what can they do to spruce all of this up? And they've done a really good job. So I think it's a mixture. I think really understanding your digital ads if you're doing socials, and also if you're not doing socials, understanding like who's clicking your ads, who you're speaking to. It's just knowing your brand, knowing what you're doing, and being authentic with it. Kind of just like that little package that you need to be
Mhm.
successful.
Definitely, definitely. So I know you're out in Florida. How can people find you and link up with you?
Yeah, so my website is actually bemediastudio.com. I'm on Instagram for Bianca Knows Business, pretty simple. And then B Media for You is our new page, because we kind of done a little facelift.
Mhm.
And I'm over here in St. Pete, Madeira Beach, Tampa, that whole area. If anybody's in that area, I'm definitely here. I do constant content for people. I take care of everything, kind of in a one-stop shop. So I, or I can help coach people if they really, really want to learn how to market themselves. So that's me, Bianca Elizabeth.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for everything, and thank you everybody for watching. If this was helpful, go ahead and leave your comments down below. And if you have any questions for Bianca, you can feel free to reach out to her. I'll go ahead and have the URLs and handles around here somewhere, as well as in the description below. But until next time, everybody, take care. Have a great day.